pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Supervisor Vecchio.
Here.
Councilman McCarthy.
Here.
Councilman Warehime.
Here.
Councilman Malloy.
Yeah. All right, sitting as Board of Water Commissioners, minutes approval as per A and B. Item number 2, release. Number 3, a release. 4, a release. And 5, a promotion.
Councilman Malloy.
Yes.
Councilman Warehime.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchio.
Yes.
Reconvene. Town Board sitting as the Board of Water Commissioners. Town Board is sitting as the Board of sitting as the Board of Site Plan Review. Number 1, conditionally approve site plan number 11-30, Smith Haven Auto Buyers. Number 2, conditionally approve site plan Taco Bell Comac. And 3, conditionally approve site plan 11-16, Smithtown Gospel Tabernacle.
Councilman Malloy.
Yes.
Councilman Warehime.
Yes.
Councilman Creighton. Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchio.
Yes.
Councilman Creighton is here.
Town Board, call to order. Correspondence, Building Department Report, May 20th, 2013. 2, Parade Run Walk, Comac High. 3, Parade Run Walk, Nest Concert Chamber. And 4, Special Event, Suffolk County Kennel Club. First reading. Anybody wish to be heard on those? And we'll move on to resolutions. The Town Board to authorize the Town Clerk to advertise for the following bids to be returned. 99 West Main Street, Smithtown, New York, 11 a.m. on the dates indicated. Bid number 13-05, demolition of unsafe structure on July 25th of 2013, returnable.
Councilman Malloy.
Yes.
Councilman Creighton.
Yes.
Councilman Warehime.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchio.
Yes.
Item number 2, the Town Board to award the following requests for proposals per opening date as indicated as per 2A and B. RFP number 13-047 for mobile concessions and RFP number 13-035 for uniform cleaning services.
Councilman Malloy.
Yes.
Councilman Creighton.
Yes.
Councilman Warehime.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchio.
Yes.
Item number 3, the Town Board to approve the following as per 3A, minutes approval, minutes of May 23rd of 2013. And items B, attached proposal of L.K. McLean Associates to provide municipal separate stormwater systems. Town Board to approve zone change petition 20-12-06 from Boulder L.I. operating Kings Park Hot Park Station for change of zone R10 residential to neighborhood business for property located on northwest corner of New York State Route 347, Route 111, as per public hearing April 25th, 2013, sequent negative deck May 7th, 2013. D, as required in OASIS for New York funding, this resolution. E, Town of Smithtown Senior Citizens Center Department, the town attorney or appropriate official to enter in a stipulation of settlement. G, authorize increase in fees for the municipal service facility in connection with tipping and disposal.
K is withdrawn.
H, Richard Kitt, environmental analyst of the Department of Environment and Waterways, and Joseph Lovries, senior building inspector. I, Town Board to authorize waiver of fees for a period of 6 months for facade renovations. J, the Department of Environment and Waterways to work with Suffolk County Legislator John M. Kennedy for various volunteers to clean the stream. And K is withdrawn.
Councilman Malloy.
Yes.
Councilman Creighton.
Yes.
Councilman Warehime.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchio.
No on C and no on K. I mean, no on H-I, on I.
Item number 4, the Town Board to do study and deliberation of subject record, issue a secret negative declaration of non-significance and environmental impact statement is not necessary for the following reasons. A, application for site plan approval for Smith Haven Auto Buyers, and application for site plan approval by J. Nazaro Partnership for 711 Comac.
Councilman Malloy.
Yes.
Councilman Creighton.
Yes.
Councilman Warehime.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchio.
Yes.
Item number 5, LWRP, A, B, and C. The Town Board to issue written consistency determination pursuant to Chapter 151 of the Town Code, the application 2013-2, Services of New York, Long Island, is consistent with the LWRP. B, the Town Board to issue a written consistency determination of Chapter 151 that 2013-03 is consistent with the LWRP. Item C, the town board to issue a written consistency determination pursuant to Chapter 151, that application 2013-5 is consistent with the LWRP.
Councilman Malloy.
Yes.
Councilman Creighton.
Yes.
Councilman Wareheim.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchia.
Yes.
Number 6, the town board to authorize the controller to execute the following as per 6A through M, all transfers of revenue codes as per the printed agenda.
Councilman Malloy.
Yes.
Councilman Creighton.
Yes.
Councilman Wareheim.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchia.
Yes.
Town board to authorize the supervisor to execute the following in a form approved by the town attorney as per A through J, agreement with the villages of Head of the Harbor, the Branch, and Nessaquag, intermunicipal agreement with Village of the Branch, amendment of intermunicipal agreement with the Village of Nessaquag, D, amendment with intermunicipal agreement with the Village of Head of the Harbor, E, specialized services, F, amendment between the town of Smithtown and the Smithtown Administrative Guild for temporary employment, G, consent to assignment of agreement with vendor and Schlesinger to Laboratory Corporation. H, agreement with Suffolk County for installation of traffic signal. I, employer agreement with Proof Positive Verification LLC and agreement with LabCorp.
Councilman Malloy.
Yes.
Councilman Creighton.
Yes.
Councilman Wareheim.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchia.
Yes.
Item number 8, the town board to approve the settlement per recommendations of the town attorney as per 8A, B, and C for $1,108.62. Settlement of property damages for $722.12, and also a $900 settlement.
Councilman Malloy.
Yes.
Councilman Creighton.
Yes.
Councilman Wareheim.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchia.
Yes.
Town board to authorize the acceptance of the following bank check from People United for a defaulted performance bond as per the printed agenda.
Councilman Malloy.
Yes.
Councilman Creighton.
Yes.
Councilman Wareheim.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchia.
Yes.
Under personnel, the town board to approve the following personnel matters as per 10A through Z and AA as the printed agenda.
Councilman Malloy.
Yes.
Councilman Creighton.
Yes.
Councilman Wareheim.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchia.
Yes.
And then we have a supplemental agenda on the resolutions. The town board to approve the following. 1A, rejection of all bids in connection with bid number 10-044 for tree pruning and stump grinding. B, Highway Department to purchase a wheel loader from George and Sweet Sales and Services. C, full-time appointment of Assistant Town Attorney Patricia A. Waite. And D, leave of absence for employee. And we'll go do them all at once, I guess. Number 2, the town board to authorize the town clerk to advertise the following bids. Bid number 2A, bid number 13-058, tree stump grinding, returnable July 11, 2013. And bid number 13-059, tree pruning, returnable July 11, 2013.
Councilman Malloy.
Yes.
Councilman Creighton.
Yes.
Councilman Wareheim.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchia.
Michael Chivak. Chigvac, I'm sorry.
My name is Michael Chickvack, 23 Twin Oaks Drive, Kings Park. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the Town Council of the Town of Smithtown. That was the oath of allegiance that you all swore, in case you may have forgotten, in front of the town attorney and your families before becoming a member of the town board. Every one of you men did understand at that time that your duties and responsibilities would include, but not be limited to overseeing the welfare of Smithtown residents and to enforcing the town laws governing our town. Now every one of you men must act. You must support the wishes of the residents of Smithtown and say no to the proposed Uplands high-density housing project. Every Kings Park resident living within 200 feet of that project, 100% of the households is opposed to the Uplands. I know because I was the person who got all their signatures, and I know you received them. We are all here tonight to show you that we demand you to hear us and to support our position and say no to the Uplands. Every town resident knows the difference between 1 acre residential zoning and zoning for a 5-story high-density housing project. Every town resident also knows that you must follow the town law. You cannot change the law. You cannot approve the construction of a facility for 200 residents on 1 acre zone property. The Uplands is unneeded, unwanted, and illegal. Say no to the Uplands. If every nearby resident does oppose the Uplands, who does want it? Who are they? Gentlemen, I must remind you that we do have a code of ethics. Our town code does contain statutes governing ethical behavior. You need to know that Section 30-4A states, and I quote, "No official or employee shall engage in any act which is in conflict or gives the appearance of conflict with the performance of the official's or employee's duties." If every nearby resident and hundreds throughout Smithtown oppose the Uplands, perhaps the Board of Ethics should look into this matter. In closing, I and everyone else in this room, everyone missing the Heat versus Spurs final game, respectfully urge you to follow the laws of our town and to abide by the wishes of its residents and to uphold the oath of allegiance you swore before you took office and say, "Down with the Uplands." Otherwise, we will vote you out of office. Thank you.
Margaret Lewis.
My name is Margaret Lewis. I live at 21 Twin Oaks Drive. And as a resident of Kings Park, I am also opposed to the Uplands at its current proposed site. How can a resident-sensitive town council sanction and justify the rezoning of 50 acres of 1 acre residential zone property to be rezoned for a 50-foot-high structure with 531 parking spaces, including 104 underground, within a high groundwater area? Smithtown Code, Chapter 322-19, states the town will protect, and I quote, "protect environmentally sensitive lands, which include lands where the depth of the groundwater is less than 10 feet. How can a resident-sensitive town council support this enormous housing project being built on environmentally sensitive land? According to the draft Environmental Impact Study, DEIS, most or all of St. John Land's upland property is located within the local waterfront revitalization area and wild scenic recreational rivers boundaries. How can a resident-conscious town council ignore the recent New York State official letter expressing concerns about the proposed leaching fields polluting Sunken Meadow Creek with the daily dumping of 40,000 gallons of sewer effluent? How can a resident-conscious town council approve this massive edifice whose residents will only be 12% from the town of Smithtown? And that is according to the DEIS. How can a town board have established an official town code declaration of policy of supporting reasonably priced accommodations for senior citizens and still consider supporting the Uplands construction of $825,000 two-bedroom townhouses with monthly fees of $5,000 a couple? Town councilman, please think of the long-term negative consequences of this plan at the proposed site on our generation and future generation of Kings Park. Conscientious Smithtown voters will not support candidates in favor of this project.
Sean Lehman, Kings Park Civic.
Supervisor Vecchio, members of the town board, my name is Sean Lehman. I'm president of the Kings Park Civic Association. Some of the residents from the uplands wanted to come, near the uplands, wanted to come down tonight just to voice concerns because they haven't heard anything about it lately. They've been going out collecting signatures. We were going to hand them in tonight. This is what we have so far. It's a lot of signatures, wouldn't you think? It's a lot of signatures. The more and more people we tell about this project and give them the facts, the more and more outraged they are. What we're going to do is we're going to hold off on these signatures because I was told tonight that there's still some petitions out, so we'll wait for them, and then we'll make copies and we'll give them to each one of you. So basically, that's what my job was here tonight, was to hand these in to you, and we'll do that in the future. Basically, what this is all about is the property, the proposed property on the upland site is 50 acres. There's so much of this property is environmentally sensitive that they can only build on 21 acres. Now, we're all for property owners' rights. Property owners' rights state that they can put single-family houses on 1 acre there. They could build, by their own DEIS assessments, they could build 21 homes. You're not going to see anybody in this audience or anybody around town argue with that. Let them build the 21 houses. What they're concerned about is the fact that because this property is so environmentally sensitive, they had to shoehorn this project in. A 50-foot story building plus an underground garage. They had to shoehorn this project in this property right adjacent to the residential homeowners. Now, I think somebody talked about zoning just recently, what zoning is all about, and that doesn't fit in with the character of the area at all. This project should have been dead on arrival. Dead on arrival. There is no way this project should have moved forward. St. John's should have been told, hey, listen, you can't do it here. Now, let me remind you of the state's letter from State Parks on December 10th, 2012, during the public comment session, where they stated, a 4-page letter, State Parks stated their concern with the project, including the leaching field, the impact it's going to have on the wetlands, the pond, the Nissaquag River corridor. State Parks stated in that letter what we've always known in the civics, that they are interested in a swap, and they continue to be interested in a swap that would benefit not only the applicant, but the community. As a town council, it's your responsibility to tell St. John, look, this project doesn't fit here. It doesn't fit here. 21 acres. Leave the environmental things out of it. 21 acres, and they're putting a 50-foot story building with an underground parking garage. It doesn't fit here. It's setting a terrible precedent if this project moves forward. The variances this project needs is unbelievable. Building where there's high groundwater at the lowest point in that area? Come on.
Time is up.
Okay, let me just finish. What we also came here tonight is, where are we at on this project? Where are we at? We know there was a DEIS, and we're just trying to find out where this project is. Can anybody?
Well, it is waiting the DEIS. We have not had a public hearing on the zone change. And I wish we had one, because if we had had it, I would have been in support of what you're saying here tonight. But we do not have a public hearing scheduled.
Right, we oppose this project in its current location. It's totally out of character with the area. One other thing, Mr. Zolo, Linda Henninger, we put a letter in 7 months ago asking you to recuse yourself. You were supposed to give us a written response. I don't believe we've received that. We did? You did? All right, we'll have to check. I don't think we did.
No, I sent a letter to Linda Henninger.
You did?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. All right, thank you for your time. Thank you.
Rich,
You realize the supervisor just said we haven't even scheduled
Yeah,
a zone change hearing for the project,
right. This is taking a long time.
and it's because of the DIES.
A project that's 90,000 square feet
Well,
above their own ordinance. an
Well, the
ordinance
board
that's
has to
created for
take
it.
a vote to schedule that hearing.
Okay.
I'm voting no, not to schedule it. I don't know where everybody else stands, but I'm not going to schedule it because it doesn't belong there.
Well,
I don't know where, like I
in
said.
our opinion, I have to tell you, it would be irresponsible and dangerous to back an
I agree
operation
with
like this. It would set a terrible precedent through the town of Smithtown.
I
Thank
agree.
you.
Rich Gorlecki, is it Gorbecki? I'm sorry.
Supervisor Vecchio, members of the town board. My name is Rich Kobecki, and I'm here on behalf of many residents of the town of Smithtown who are against this Uplands massive project at its proposed site. The Kings Park Civic Association, the Kings Park Neighborhood Association, and the Fort Salonga Civic Association are all opposed to this Uplands project. The Uplands property currently pays no taxes to the Kings Park School District, the Kings Park Fire Department, or the Suffolk County Police Department, as per the DEIS report. The property on which St. John proposes building this massive housing project is zoned strictly for 1 acre residential, and 6 variances are needed for this project to move forward. The project will need 523 parking spaces and an underground parking facility. A New York State Park official sent a 4-page letter, which was dated December 10th of 2012, to the town of Smithtown, outlining many serious concerns regarding this project at the proposed site. Is anyone in town hall reading their mail? The costs are outrageous. 1 bedroom is $395,000 and a monthly carrying charge of $3,250 per couple. A 2-bedroom townhouse is $825,000 with a monthly carrying charge of $4,500 per couple. And that also is per the DEIS report. This project will increase traffic, noise pollution, light pollution, have over 1,000 pounds of solid waste produced daily. Negative effects on our wildlife, negative effects on Sunken Meadow Creek, and the increased burden on our police and fire departments. Is St. Johnland really in this for the good of the Kings Park community? Combined, all entrance fees and monthly fees are anticipated to total over $114.7 million during the first year of operation. And that's also per the DEIS report. Please tell Greenbrier Corporation to take the Uplands project back to Texas where it was designed. Thank you.
Christopher Parcella.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. Something doesn't make sense to me. We have a project, or 21 acres that it's zoned for 1 acre housing. There's 21 houses, give or take $15,000, $16,000 a year in property taxes. You're not talking about high density. You're not talking about a lot of calls for service for public safety. You're not talking about a lot of calls for service for fire department. And you're not talking about a huge population increase in the school system or burden on the school system. And you're talking somewhere in the neighborhood of $15,000, $16,000, $20,000 each house for taxes. Something doesn't make sense when people, apparently, from what I'm hearing on this board, are pushing for high-density housing where right now the owners aren't paying any taxes. There's no agreement, according to what I'm reading here, about what the taxes will be. And when you have this kind of high-density housing, you're going to have higher calls for service, both police, fire, and I'm not sure about the school district, quite frankly. But it doesn't seem to me to make any sense. And there are people on this board who are former police commissioners, police officers, and if something doesn't smell right, it isn't right. Something is wrong here. Why are people pushing this when you have guaranteed money of 21 houses of, like I said, $15,000, $16,000 a year in property taxes, minimal calls for service, minimal burden to the town of Smithtown and the county, but yet people are pushing to build a project which, like I was here last time, the infrastructure cannot handle it. You're going to need a leaching pit. You're going to devalue houses in the surrounding area, which means you're going to lose property taxes out of those surrounding areas. And yet people are still pushing this. Something doesn't make sense here. And for all those who have been in public service, when something doesn't make sense, somebody's got to take a step back and wonder what's going on. Because to me, something seems wrong. I don't understand why this is even a question, this project. It's zoned for 21 houses, build your 21 houses, and let them have at it. Like the Kings Park Civic Association gentleman said, you're going to find a person in this room who would protest the 21 houses. But we're talking about a project that is high above ground, high below ground, in an environmentally sensitive area, and there's no agreement on what the taxes will be, if any. Something doesn't make sense. Thank you.
Mr. Town Attorney, is there a prohibition against scheduling a public hearing on this matter?
We haven't completed the review of the information received in response to EIS.
Decision.
At this, I don't know the answer to the question.
Well, I think we can, so I would expect that you would review that.
I would like,
and,
absolutely.
Okay. I'll move to close the meeting. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't get it. What's your name? Like, please come up then. There was no name there.
David Fennis, 54 Twin Oaks Drive. We choose to move onto Twin Oaks Drive after living 10 years in Elwood, where we owned our house free and clear. Also a business owner. Numerous people work for me, self-educated, self-taught. You're all on this board, honorable men, accomplishments under your belt. Standing behind your word, I looked on the Smithtown website. I found it a little cryptic. Finding out even when the election was a little hard. It's not obviously stated, let alone finding where people stand. Being that you're men of your word, being that you stand behind your names, and I couldn't find it on the websites, that's why I'm asking. Can I see by show of hands who supports the Uplands project, please?
I think that matter being appropriate, there's no application for rezoning, and I think
I think he has a right.
The
He has a
review
right
is
to ask the
not done
question.
on the environmental
there's nothing.
sensitive project.
Can I have a
Look,
show of
Mr.
hands
Mr.
who
Fennessy,
is
No,
against
that's
the Uplands
inappropriate.
project?
Mr.
There's nothing
Fennessy,
before the board, Mr.
Mr.
Supervisor.
Fennessy, you have a question? The question is show of hands?
Yes.
Well, if they don't choose to do that, I choose to say.
That, to me, speaks
I
volumes.
choose to say to you that I'm opposed to this project.
Uh,
For a lot of reasons.
All right. Those who chose not to raise their hands, I think that speaks volumes of where you stand.
Well, I
And
already
it-
told you how I felt. I will not vote to put this on for a hearing, so I am against the project.
Okay. Everybody else, we know how,
No, you
what,
don't know, because I was speaking, and they just cut me off. We had a public hearing. We had experts looking over the questions. When those answers come in and we review it, we will go through the process. But to cut it short and just say, no, vote yes or no, forget the process, then why have public hearings?
agreed,
All right?
agreed.
So then we should eliminate public hearings on everything and wait for people to come out and tell us how to vote.
I'm just saying,
That's what he said. You want to vote before the information is full. No, I am speaking. We have information coming in from the environmentally sensitive portion when we had the public hearing. It's not in. So until we have that, how can we go forward without the information before us? To your questions.
and I live on the street, and it's my speaking time now, and I appreciate your comments. I live on the street adjacent to the project, and I heard that this environmental impact survey doesn't even include my street. And I understand business. I'm a business owner. I understand decreasing the tax base. I understand preserving the parks, which everybody enjoys. But I don't understand where this project lies as tax exempt, and they're projected to make about $52 million their first year of existence.
But I think you're jumping to the conclusion that we are in favor of this project at that site. We are in favor of the concept of that project. Its location could be determined with negotiations, but just to knock away housing for seniors is not appropriate.
Thank you. I would just like to ask one more minute, since about a minute and a half was taken up with
Right,
group
that's fair.
conversation. That was speaking my mind. To the editor, St. John Land has a grandiose sense of entitlement. We've owned this parcel of longer than 150 years that extends to their delusional belief that they are above the laws of the land. the massive uplands edifice of 150 apartments and 24 assisted living units will have just under 300 people. However, the zoning, which I understand to be the laws agreed on by prior town representatives, it's only zoned for 1-acre residential houses. Smithtown Code, Section 322-8, indicates no building structure shall be erected except for the purpose specifically permitted by the Table of Use Regulations. How can St. John Lynn ignore the zoning laws? And the requirements for zoning variances are very specific. Smithtown Town Code, Section 322-83A, proclaims applicants for use variances must prove financial hardship and must also prove that the variance will not alter the essential character of the neighborhood. And this neighborhood has a very distinctive character. The way I understand it, the state agreed to a land swap less than 100 yards away that would tie into the sewage system. Why put it here? And break 6 zoning ordinances that I would imagine were established way before most gentlemen on the board.
Mr. Fennessy, I think your minute is up.
Okay, thank you.
Okay? I'll move to close the meeting.
Second.
Supervisor Vecchio. Supervisor Vecchio.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Councilman Wareham.
Yes.
Councilman Creighton.
Yes.
Councilman Malloy.
Yes.